To answer maybe that question and more, we're joined now by Professor Jeffrey Wolf, an expert in the history of Jewish law. Professor, thanks for being with us on the rundown this evening. Politics
Thank you for having
aside,
me.
I want us to start with the basics. What does Jewish law actually say about the death penalty? Was it ever meant to be carried out, or is it seen more of as a moral deterrent?
Um, but both sides of your statements are correct. The Bible makes it very clear that there are some, actually not a small number of sins and or crimes for which the death penalty is invoked. Um, on the other hand, it is a fact that the way that Jewish law developed, it is effectively impossible to execute anyone. And in fact, the Mishnah, the third century CE collection of Jewish law, says explicitly that any Sanhedrin, the high court in the time of the rabbis in ancient times, that executed someone was known as once in 7 years, and according to another opinion, in 70 years, actually is a destructive and a reprehensible Sanhedrin. Because the truth of the matter is that there are three punishment in general in law serves three functions. Number one, punishment. Number two, it highlights the severity of the crime, and third, it's supposed to serve as a deterrent. And in general, the last two are the ones that are generally relevant. Certainly, in terms of telling people the severity of the crime that's involved. More than that, not. We have, on the other hand, traditions in the Talmud and through the Middle Ages, where individual Jews who endangered the very existence of the Jewish community in Spain and in other places were executed by the Jewish community because this one person was endangering the entire polity. So there's no really one-off answer to your question, except to say that the sanctity of human life is not the only primary factor, but certainly one of the most important factors in dealing with cases like this.
Well, the sanctity for human life, I think that's what comes back to so many, especially the devout followers of Judaism when they come back to it. However, also supporters of something like the death penalty, they often point to the Torah's eye for an eye principle, especially when it comes to something like the horrific attacks that we see here in Israel. So how does Judaism then square that idea with its deep value on mercy and preserving life?
Well, first of all, the eye for an eye was never taken literally. It was always, as far as we have any record, going back to the most ancient of times, eye for an eye was interpreted